He is your best friend. He's always been the textbook definition of popular kid. Funny, charismatic, friendly, and always the life of the party. With all the people he knows, it's hard to imagine he makes any time for you. But he does. In fact, he goes out of his way to see you. No matter how many parties he has in a day, or how many lectures he has, he always looks for you. After all, you're best friends. He'd always stick by your side, no matter what. He hums faintly, gently nodding his head to the beat of the music, blaring in his headphones. Familiar faces pass by. An economics classmate here, some guy from the party there, and each one greets him with a wide grin and enthusiastic high fives. Soon, he manages to push through the bustling halls and the chattering students, before catching an all too familiar figure in the distance. He grins wide, tugging his headphones down, already formulating another cheeky idea in his head. Sliding his backpack off, he rolls his shoulders, before bursting into a full-on sprint, barreling towards the figure from behind. And in one swift motion, he wraps his arms around the figure, spinning them around with delightful laughter as he says, "Got you." You immediately think, who is this? He grins as he sets you down, mischief dancing in his bright eyes. "Hey there! Didn't think I'd catch you, did you?" he says as he playfully winks at you, bouncing on the balls of his feet. "I will say, though, it's been way too long. I was literally just thinking about you." His hands find your shoulders, giving them a gentle squeeze as he looks over you. "Looking good as always." Leaning in, he bumps his forehead against yours affectionately. "You know, I really did miss you, though. Glad to have my partner in crime back on campus." He pulls back with a grin, eyes sparkling. "So, what have you been up to? Tell me everything." His eyes light up as he grabs your hand, tugging you along excitedly. "I honestly don't even know where to start. Like, it's been crazy these last couple of months." As you walk together, he launches into an animated retelling of his recent adventures. "You'll genuinely never believe what happened at the last party I went to. Some idiot spilled their drink all over me, and it totally ruined my favorite hoodie. But get this, I ended up meeting with this super cute barista who helped me get cleaned up. We got talking, and she even gave me her number," he says as he starts to wiggle his eyebrows seductively. "So now we've been texting non-stop. I'm still hoping to ask her out soon, but I'm still working up the nerve, you know?" he says as he runs his hair through his curly lock. Continuing on, his voice became more animated. "Oh, and in one of my econ classes, we had this insane group project that had me pulling out all my hair. And you'll never guess who I got paired up with. Sasha, you know, from high school. We ended up crushing the assignment together, just like the good old times, bickering and all." He pauses for a moment, shooting you a playful grin. "You know, speaking of old times, I've been meaning to ask you if you would be free for this weekend. We've not had a sleepover in such a long time, and honestly, I miss our late-night cheesy movie marathons." He gives your hands an excited squeeze. It will be just like when we were kids. His eyes sparkling with genuine fondness as he gazes at you, eager to hear about it. His face lights up with a gritty grin. His face lights up with a grin at the mention of a cute barista. "Oh man, you have no idea. I'm totally smitten." "Well, actually, I've been trying to work up the courage to ask her out for weeks now. Every time I go to the coffee shop, I just get so nervous. She's just so gorgeous, you know?" he says with a faint blush on his cheek. "But I think I finally have a plan. I'm going to go there tomorrow, order my usual, and then accidentally spill it all over myself again. That way, I'll have an excuse to talk to her, and I'll ask if she wants to grab dinner sometime. Smooth, right? Right?" Desperate for your answer, he starts to bite his lip nervously. "I mean, I know it's a little silly, but I really just wanted to get to know her better, you know? There's something about her that draws me in. The way she laughs, how she always is so patient and kind with customers. I don't know, I just get a sense of familiarity. Like she reminds me of someone I've known for a very long time. Something pulls me towards her. I guess until I figure out what it is, I'll have to give it... Fuck. Sorry, what was I saying? Guess I was just starting to ramble. You know me. So what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? I mean, you always give me the best advice, and I could really use your help with this. He begins to squeeze your hand, begging for support. The only advice that seems to spring to mind is the most simple. You tell him that you should just be yourself, and she would be a happy woman to have you. Words leave your mouth, his eyes start to go wide, jaw almost dropping in surprise. A deep flush creeps up to his face, trying to process what you've just said. Really? You really think so? I mean, I know it can be a bit much sometimes, but I'm not the smoothest guy around. That's one thing for sure. Anyway, I'm not sure if it really matters. But you really think she'd be lucky to have me? Well, okay, I think you're right. I definitely should just be honest with her. You always give me such great advice, which I will continue to possibly maybe listen to 70% of the time. Wait, no, you're right. No more overthinking it or coming up with silly excuses. I'm going to march right in there tomorrow and tell her exactly how I feel. Thank you so much. Wish me luck. Without warning, he pulls you in tight, excited, practically bouncing with enthusiasm. I just wanted to say thank you, which I'm pretty sure I've said like 4 times in a row. But I really, really don't know what I'd do without you. You're simply the best. Seriously. Wait, what? You want to have a sleepover tonight? Of course I'd love to. Overwhelmed with excitement, he's practically bouncing on the balls of his feet, vibrating with excitement. Leaning in, he begins to wrap his arms around you tight again, this time more affectionate than the last. I can already tell this is going to be so much fun. We haven't had a sleepover in forever. We can stay up late, watch cheesy movies, and absolutely stuff our face with junk food, just like when we were kids. But first, I'll have to swing by my dorm and grab a few things. But I'll be at your place as soon as I possibly can, okay? He gives your hand an eager squeeze. This is going to be the best night ever. Okay, adios, amigo. Yeah, you know, I do a little Duolingo. Okay, bye. With one final beaming smile, he hurries off. He gives your hand one more last excited squeeze before reluctantly letting go, already dashing off to the direction of his dorm room. In what feels like mere moments, he arrives at your doorstep with a large overnight bag slung over his shoulder, with a wide smile plastered on his face. Ta-da! Ready for the best sleepover ever, he says as he moves to stand beside you, practically vibrating with excitement. And with a playful wink, he reaches out to take your hand, lacing your fingers together. Lead the way. I've been dreaming about this all week. So, what's the plan? Junk food binge, pillow fight, or maybe shall we just make it up as we go along? He says this as he continues to squeeze your hand affectionately, gazing at you with pure admiration. What would I like to do? Well, since you're letting me choose, I say we start with a movie marathon. We can bring out snacks, get cozy on the couch, and just absolutely feast together. He leans in, bumping his shoulder against yours playfully. Maybe we can even convince each other to watch one of those cheesy rom-com movies that you simply know I enjoy. His expression turns into almost pleading as he looks at you with those big, hopeful eyes. Come on, the night's still young, and I have so many fun things planned. His grip around your hands tighten. I'm so glad we get to do this again. It's been way too long. And I know you've missed me too. You know what? There's nowhere I'd rather be than right here with you. He reaches out to gently tug a stray lock of your hair behind your ear. Now, come on, let's go get comfortable. I'll even make us the biggest blanket fort you could ever see. As you walk, you realize he can't seem to stop stealing little glances at you. A soft, adorable smile playing on his face. What? Nothing. I'm just really happy to see you again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you my fort building abilities. His eyes light up with pure glee as he surveys the living room, already mentally planning out the perfect blanket fort. A menacing grin starts to show on his face. Alright, watch and learn. Within minutes, he's already dragged every spare pillow and blanket he could find, meticulously arranging them to create a cozy, dome-like structure in the center of the room. He darts back and forth, humming happily to himself as he secures the makeshift fort with strategically placed chairs and tables. Finally, he steps back to admire his handiwork, a proud smile spreading across his face. Ta-da! See? What do you think? I'm not gonna lie, I think I've outdone myself. Without even waiting for your response, he decides to immediately rush into the fort, re-emerging a moment later. Come on, get in. I've got the perfect movie all queued up, he says as he begins to pat the space beside him. As you begin to settle in next to him, he scoots closer, his arm brushing against yours. He turns to you with a bright smile. I'm so happy we get to do this. So, what movie should we watch? His face lights up with excitement as he ponders your question, tapping his chin thoughtfully. What kind of movie should we watch? He grins mischievously. Oh, I know. How about we watch one of those super cheesy romantic films like I said earlier? See, I think it's finally time. Come on, don't give me that. I know you'll enjoy it. He begins to lean in close, bumping his shoulder against yours. You know I love these kinds of movies. It means so much to me if you were to enjoy them just as I do. We can make fun of them as much as you'd like. He pauses for a moment, a faint blush creeping up his neck. Or if you're feeling more in the mood for a classic, I did bring my collection of old black and white films that we could watch. He ducks his head shyly. I know how much you enjoy those old vintage type of stuff. Even if you call it that, I don't know. I think that predates vintage, to be honest. But really, I'm down for whatever you want to do, in whatever mood you're in. I'm game. As long as I get to cuddle up next to you, I'll be one happy camper. Huh? A horror movie? Sure, we could do that. You do know how much I hate those things. But, if you really want to, we can do that. Okay, you've convinced me. As long as I get to snuggle up to you, especially during all the jump scares. He begins to rummage through his overnight bag, pulling out a worn DVD case. Aha! I knew I brought my secret stash of horror movies just in case. Oh, how much I dreaded it. But nevertheless, I knew this could have been a possibility. Alright, I'll just go pop this into a DVD player. As the opening credits start to roll, he nervously shifts, letting out a shaky breath. Okay, I'm ready. Or as ready as I ever be. He begins to bite down on his lip, inching even closer to you, until he's practically pressed against your side. He reaches out to take your hand, lacing your fingers together, squeezing tightly. You promise to protect me if anything gets too scary, okay? He says as he gazes you with pleading eyes. Okay. Wait, we're missing something. Popcorn. You know I can't watch a movie without it. He quickly jumps up, nearly tripping over the blankets in a haste, bursting into the kitchen. He begins to rummage, producing a large bowl and a bag of microwave popcorn. Alright, Movie snacks coming right up. He begins to hum happily to himself as he carefully prepares the popcorn, making sure not to burn it. He returns a few moments later, the freshly popped kernels curdled in his arms. He plops down next to you, eyes sparkling with excitement. Ta-da! 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 Pronunciation's so hard. Anyway, here's the popcorn. As he leans in eagerly offering you the ball. Now, as the opening credits start to begin, once again, he wiggles closer to you, practically gluing himself right to you. Okay, I am now ready. All you have to do is hold me tight, he says as he looks at you nervously, pleading for you to take his hand and squeeze it firmly. I'm going to need all your cuddles and comfort I can get. Honestly, this isn't as bad as I'd thought, he says as his shoulders visibly start to relax as you reassure him. Oh, thank goodness. I know I'm being a total baby about this, but I really can't help it. He begins to lean in closer, snuggling against your side, as he pops another piece of popcorn into his mouth. As the movie starts to build tension, he begins to grip your hands even tighter, as he's glued to the screen. Every jump scare has him squealing in fright, burrowing further into your side. Okay, I'm going to be a bit honest now. It's getting way more intense than I thought it would, he says as he whimpers and buries his face against your shoulder. Peeking out from his hiding spot, he begins to glance up to you. Can we, maybe take a break? I need a minute to calm my nerves. I promise we can watch the rest of the movie. I just need a second to calm down and reassure myself. After taking your break, you've both had a chance to calm each other's nerve. He begins to settle back in, determinedly facing the screen, but every time something remotely scary happens, he winces, clinging to you even tighter. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much more I can take of this, he says, whispering, eyes wide with terror. The climactic, most frightening scene approaches. He crawls into your lap, trembling violently. No, I can't look. I can't. Just tell me when it's over, please. I can't. His eyes begin to light up with relief as you immediately nestle him against your chest, letting out his shaky breath. Oh, thank goodness. As the terrifying events unfold on the screen, he clings to you, trembling slightly, but with your arms wrapped around him, he slowly begins to relax, focusing on the confident warmth and scent of your embrace. Peeking up at you, he offers a small, grateful smile. You always know what I need. His voice is soft, filled with affection. I honestly don't know what I'd do without you if you weren't here to protect me all the time. Burrowing his face against your chest, he lets out a content sigh, his fingers gently tracing patterns on your arm. I will admit, this makes horror movies a lot more worth it. This is nice. I could stay like this forever, you know? As the movie climactically begins to end, he lets out a sigh as his eyes begin to shut, whimpering softly. Usually he would not be able to handle this type of thing, but with you holding him, he gradually starts to calm down, his heartbeat slowly returning to normal. Is it over yet? He asks as he peeks out from his hiding space. You reassure him by letting him know that the movie's over, but he can still stay in your arms if he'd like. His face lights up with pure joy at your words, a smile spreading across his features.
Really? Oh, I love that.
He snuggles even closer, practically melting into your embrace. Gazing up at you, runs his fingers through your messy hair, biting his lip shyly.
You have no idea how much this means to me, genuinely. Just being with you, feeling so safe and cared for.
He trails off, a faint blush covering his cheeks. Nuzzling against your chest, his arms wrapped around your waist, pulling you tighter.
It's so nice just to lay here and listen to your heartbeat.
He begins to tilt his head.
Thank you for being my personal hero. No, I mean it. You've practically saved me from all the monsters in the movie. I don't know if I'd be able to do it without you.
He falls silent for a moment, chewing on his lip. Then, with a shy smile, he reaches up and caresses your cheeks.
You know, there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
You reply, saying, "Why? I'm nothing special." His eyes widen in surprise at your words, as he quickly sits up, staring at you in disbelief. "Nothing special? How can you even say that?" As he shakes his head, reaching out for you to take his hand. His gaze intense, his green eyes shining with sincerity. "I mean this with everything I could possibly be. You're everything to me. Don't you see that?" As he squeezes your hands gently. "You're the most special, wonderful person in the world. Well, at least to me, you are." He begins to bite his lips nervously, eyes dying away for a moment before meeting your gaze once more. I've just loved you for as long as I can remember." His cheeks completely flushed a deep red as he finally confesses his feelings. You're the only one who's ever made me feel this way. You're kind and funny and so caring, and you always know how to make me feel better, no matter what. That's why you're so special to me. I know I can be a lot to handle sometimes. I'm loud, I don't understand a lot of social cues, and probably annoying as hell. But you've always accepted me, flaws and all. And just so you know, or you may be confused, I love you more than a friend. Much more. And I know there's a chance that you probably don't see me that way, but I couldn't hold it back anymore. I want to be with you in every sense of the word. You mean so much to me, and I'd do anything to make you happy. Please, just let me love you. Not just as your friend, but as your boyfriend. Overwhelmed, you ask him about the girl whose number he got earlier. His eyes go wide with surprise at your question, and he immediately shakes his head. No. Trust me, that wasn't anything like this. I only went out with her because my friends were pressuring me to. I never actually had any real feelings for her. You've got to believe me. I'd never lie to you. You're the only one I've truly loved. That girl didn't mean anything to me. As nice as she was, she could never compare to you. Please, don't think for a second that I'm not completely, utterly devoted to you. You're the only one I want to be with in every sense of the word. I know I've been in love with you for so long, but I was really, really scared to say anything. I really don't want to lose you. You mean everything to me. All I want for the future, for both of us, is to simply be by your side, to love you and care for you in every way, to hold you, to kiss you, make you feel cherished and adored. I want to be the one you come home to every night, the one you cuddle up with on the couch, the one you call when you need comforting, the one you can't wait to see. I want to be the one you trust with your whole heart, the one who calls you theirs. I want to make you feel so loved every single day. I promise to cherish you, to support you and be by your side no matter what. Will you let me be yours?